Alright, what is up you guys? Diggerdan here, coming at you with another video. This time, I'm doing another book haul because I feel like all I do is get books and buy them and receive them instead of read them. Don't get me wrong, I got a lot to read. Look at this. Got shelves on shelves. I'm just a slow reader. Yeah, so if you guys watched my last book haul, it was pretty recent. Went to a couple thrift stores. That's where I got the frame for that awesome map that my wife got me. But during that, I got the complete series, except this book of the Battle Dragon, or of the Basil Broketail series. Was missing all but book 5. And then my Aunt Teresa, or my wife's Aunt Teresa, saw that I was missing this one, and she got it for me, and then she gave it to me when she saw me at Thanksgiving. So Aunt Teresa, shout out to you. Thank you very much. So yeah, now I currently have a complete series of Basil Broketail. Still haven't read the first one yet, or started the first one even, but that'll be on my TBR for next year for sure. And then hopefully I like it enough to finish the whole series. So yeah, that's the first book, and let's keep digging into them. Alright, next are 4 books that I got with my wife when we were out thrift shopping. Just looking for knickknacks, books, of course, Christmas CDs, things like that, because 'tis the season. And then, again, if you watched my last one, you guys know I got The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And then, thankfully, I saw this one, The Girl Who Played with Fire. So this is book 2 of that series. No, I did not pay $6.29. I spent 25 cents on this. This is another one of those thrift stores where it's a quarter per book, whether it's softback or hardback. So it was awesome. So I spent a whole $1 on these 4 books I'm showing you here in a second. So yeah, again, heard really good things about this series. With a quarter, very low stakes. It's hard to say no. So yeah, excited to dig into this one. And then after that, I have the Victoria Vanishes. This I wasn't familiar with. So I did have a second and looked it up on Goodreads. And it looked like it was part of a series. I think this is book like 12 or something in some mystery series. But it looked like you could also read them just as one-offs. So I might do that. And it's really not that long. It's about 300 pages. So who knows, maybe I could rip through this pretty quickly. But yeah, so written by Christopher Fowler. Yeah, the reviews on Goodreads sounded pretty good. And I love a good murder mystery. So cool. And then the last 2 from my thrift store excursion with my wife are both Brad Thor books, Code of Conduct and Near Dark. Again, I haven't actually read anything from Brad Thor, but I've heard good things, and he's kind of been in almost every thrift store, and I feel like they just, I don't know. I'm almost like at that point where it's like, I just want to collect them all. Why not? But I do plan on reading them. I wouldn't buy books if I didn't plan on reading them. But it might become where I gift them out to. I don't know. But yeah, so 2 more Brad Thor books, 2 that I didn't have. So let's go on to the next one. Now, these last 9, I know, last 9, it's a lot still. The rest of these I got, again, with my wife. We went to my local library. They were having a used book sale for friends of the library to help support the library. So everything I got here, I spent $5 on a bag. It was fill up your bag for $5. And yeah, so I went to town. So the first book I got was Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. What pulled me to it wasn't even the title. I just saw Arthur C. Clarke. Because when I went to the fantasy and sci-fi section, it was tiny. It was this little box. So I was peeling through it, and this is one of the few books. This and the next book were one of the few books that I got. And everything else was from just general fiction. But yeah, and this again is a short one, and the reviews are really good. This is kind of like one of those sci-fi classics. So this will definitely be in my TBR for next year. So yeah, Arthur C. Clarke. The next one that I also got from that fantasy sci-fi section, is this one, Taliesin, I guess that's how you say it, written by Stephen Lawhead. I saw it was book 1 of a series. It wasn't book 3 or 4 or something like that. So I'm like, sure, I'll take a stab at it. If it's good, maybe I'll have to track it down on Thriftbooks, or maybe Amazon even. But yeah. So, and this is what really got me too, aside from it just being the first in a series, is that it kind of follows like Arthurian legends. Like if you see, it's got like Merlin and Arthur and then like the Holy Grail. I mean, those are the titles of the future books. Um, but it seemed cool, and it follows kind of like the Lost City of Atlantis. Like it follows an Atlantean and like an Arthurian Britain person. So I don't know. I figured the reviews online were mixed, but again, I spent $5 and everything. I think it was like 36 cents for this book or something like that. I don't know. I forget how the math works out, but yeah, I'll eventually read this and see how it is. But yeah, and then the next book I got, I was a little disappointed by the lack of science fiction and fantasy books. So next I went to young adult section because sometimes they have some thrown over there. But I actually found Paper Towns written by John Green. And I remember in middle school and high school, a lot of my friends read a lot of John Green books, like Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, things like that. But I haven't read a single John Green book. And again, I saw it sitting there, and I'm like, why not? This is one of it's like 300 pages. I've heard good things about his stuff. I don't follow him on TikTok. I should. But he pops up, him and Hank pop up on my TikTok all the time. And they seem both very intelligent. So, yeah. And it's motion picture, too. So maybe after I read it, maybe I can watch it. But yeah, that was the third one from the book sale. Now let's keep going. The next one I got in that same section, it was a young adult, is The Host, written by Stephanie Meyer. Now what attracted me to this one is that's the author of Twilight, and I know my wife read all the Twilight books. So I actually pulled this for her thinking that she'd be interested in it. But after we got in the car and we kind of did our debrief of what we got, she's like, I don't know if I'd read that. She's like, I don't know. It doesn't really sound all that interesting after we read the synopsis. I'm like, oh, well, cool. But I did kind of like the synopsis. And I do remember in middle school reading Twilight and being interested. But I never finished the series because I didn't really care for the romance. So I don't know. Again, the reviews online on Goodreads were very mixed for this one. So maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. It'll probably just be in my never-ending TBR. But yeah, Stephanie Meyer, The Host. All right, now for these last 5, they're all hardcover, so I was really excited about that. And these were all in the fiction section. And they are all either Vince Flynn or Brad Thor books. So I kind of score on the Brad Thor a lot. So yeah, I got Order to Kill. And this one I really like just for like the map cover. Like if I were to rate a book based on its cover, out of all of these, I'd probably pull this one. I don't know why. I just am really drawn to maps. So yeah, this is one of them. And the next Vince Flynn one is Red War. So yeah, another one I didn't own. And then the third one of the Vince Flynn is Protect and Defend. So yeah, excited to get that one. Because again, I've read some Mitch Rapp books, or Vince Flynn, however you want to think about it. I've enjoyed them a lot. And I'm just kind of rolling the dice on the Brad Thor, kind of just, in my mind, riding the coattails of Vince Flynn, or at least in my experience. But I'm sure these books are awesome, or else I wouldn't have gotten them. So yeah, then the last 2 books, like I said, are Brad Thor. This one is Act of War. I think it follows a character called Scott Hrabath. I don't know. I could probably open it up and tell you. And then the last one is Blacklist. This one's probably my favorite cover out of the Brad Thor books. Like just having like paratroopers jumping out in like, clouds. I don't know. I think that looks really slick. So yeah, that is all the books I got. I will try to not buy any more this year, but I know Christmas I asked for a lot of books. So you might get one more book haul from me before the end of the year. And I promise, I do read books as well instead of just collect them. And I do need more shelves because you can guys see it's like I got stacks behind me that, and like the stacks and it's bad. I probably should stop buying books, but it's so hard when you see books that are interesting. It's like you just get that dopamine hit, you know, and it's like, and then when they're on my shelf and I'm looking at them, I'm like, that's awesome. And then when you finally read it and then you look at the shelf again, the memories of what you're reading, you know, it's just kind of a cycle of just awesomeness. So yeah, that's my book haul for the beginning of December. So yeah, how'd you guys think I did? Are there any of these that you read that you enjoy, that you're looking forward to hearing my thoughts about? Were there any that you think I should avoid, like The Host, for example? That's probably the one I'm most skeptical about. But I'm excited for all of them. So yeah, thanks you guys for watching. Appreciate you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.